Hi friends! Today I will be telling you a story about a girl named Ellie and her spooky story related to her New Year's resolution. It was New Year's Eve, and Ellie sat cross-legged on her bed, staring at her notebook. She loved making New Year's resolutions. Last year she had promised to read more books, and she had done it. This year she wanted to do something bigger, something that could really make her a better person. Ellie tapped her pen against her chin and thought hard. Finally, she wrote in big, bold letters, "Be a better person." She smiled, imagining how proud everyone would be of her. She decided to start right away. The next morning, Ellie woke up feeling excited. "New year, new me," she whispered to herself. She helped her mom set the table for breakfast, gave her little brother an extra pancake even though she wanted it, and complimented her dad's new haircut. It felt good to be nice. But as the day went on, Ellie began to feel strange. It started with a faint headache, like a tiny drum beating in her mind. Then she noticed something odd in the mirror. As she brushed her hair, her reflection didn't quite match her movements. When Ellie raised her right hand, the reflection hesitated for just a second before following. She blinked and shook her head. "I must be imagining things," she muttered. The next morning, Ellie woke up to a cold chill in her room. She looked around and noticed that her closet door was open. She was sure she had closed it the night before. As she got out of bed, she heard a faint giggle, but no one else was there. The giggle sounded like her own voice, but distant, almost echoey, as if it came from somewhere deep within the walls. That day at school, Ellie's best friend, Mia, seemed upset. "Why didn't you wait for me this morning?" Mia asked, her voice tinged with hurt. Ellie frowned. "Wait for you? I didn't see you." Mia crossed her arms. "You walked right past me and didn't even say hi. And you laughed at me when I tripped. That's not like you, Ellie." Ellie's stomach twisted. I would never do that. I was at home this morning." Mia raised an eyebrow. "I know what I saw," she said, and walked away, leaving Ellie standing there, confused and anxious. When Ellie got home, she decided to confront the strange feelings she'd been having. That night, she sat on her bed hugging her knees. She heard footsteps in the hallway. "Mom? Dad?" she called, but there was no answer. Then she heard the giggle again, louder this time. It wasn't playful anymore. It was mocking. She turned toward the mirror and her heart stopped. Her reflection was smiling, but Ellie wasn't, and the reflection's eyes were pure white, glowing faintly in the dim light. It tilted its head, studying her like she was a puzzle to be solved. "Hello, Ellie," the reflection said, its voice eerily calm. "Happy New Year!" Ellie scrambled backward, her breathing quick and shallow. "Who are you?" she whispered. The reflection laughed, a sound that made Ellie's skin crawl. For a second, she thought she had fallen asleep and this was all just a bad dream. But one glance at the mirror made her realize that that was not the case, and she truly was experiencing all this. "I'm you, silly. The new, better you. Isn't that what you wanted?" Ellie shook her head. "You're not me. You're wrong." The reflection stepped out of the mirror, its form shimmering like smoke solidifying. It didn't look exactly like Ellie anymore. Its eyes were completely white, and its smile was sharper, more menacing. "I'm exactly what you wished for," it said. "A better person. I'm here to help." Ellie tried to run, but her legs felt like jelly. The other Ellie, the better Ellie, laughed. "Don't worry. I'll take care of everything. You can rest now." The next morning, Ellie woke up feeling heavy, as if she hadn't slept at all. When she went downstairs, her mom frowned at her. "Ellie, that was not okay," her mom said. "What?" Ellie asked, confused. "You told your brother his drawing was ugly and made him cry," her mom said. "That's not like you." Ellie's mouth fell open. "I didn't do that. I was in my room." Her mom raised an eyebrow. "I saw you, Ellie. Don't lie." Ellie's heart raced. She ran back upstairs and looked in the mirror. "What are you doing?" she whispered. The reflection smiled innocently, its white eyes gleaming. "I'm just being the better you. Isn't that what you wanted?" Ellie shook her head. "You're making everyone mad at me. That's not better." The reflection shrugged. "Better is just a matter of opinion." Ellie had no clue what her better self meant by that, but deep down she knew things would only get worse from here on out. Over the next few days, things got worse. The better Ellie showed up everywhere, at school, at home. even at the park. She said mean things to Ellie's friends, messed up Ellie's homework, and scared her little brother with creepy pranks. But no one else seemed to notice that it wasn't the real Ellie. They all just thought it was just Ellie, going about causing ruckus. Little did they know what sinister games the better Ellie was playing. One afternoon, while helping her mom bake cookies, Ellie accidentally dropped a plate. Her mom sighed. "Ellie, I don't know what's gotten into you lately," she said. "You're not acting like yourself." Tears welled up in Ellie's eyes. "Mom, it's not me. There's something pretending to be me." Her mom gave her a puzzled look. "Ellie, you need to take responsibility for your actions." Feeling helpless, Ellie went to her room and stared at the mirror. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded. The other Ellie appeared, grinning. "Because you asked for me," she said. "You wanted to be better." "This isn't better," Ellie shouted. "You're hurting everyone I care about." The other Ellie's white eyes glinted. "Maybe you should have been more specific with your wish." That night, Ellie couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, thinking of a way to fix everything. Then she had an idea. What if being a better person wasn't about changing who she was, but about being true to herself and doing her best? The next day, Ellie tried harder than ever to be kind. She apologized to Mia and explained what had been going on, even though it sounded unbelievable. Mia didn't completely understand, but she forgave Ellie. At home, Ellie helped her brother with his drawing and told him it was amazing. She even cleaned her room without being asked. When the better Ellie appeared in the mirror that night, her smile seemed smaller. "You can't win," she said, but her voice wasn't as strong as before. Seeing the better Ellie not be as confident as before gave Ellie a bit of confidence herself. She knew she had the better Ellie now. Ellie crossed her arms. "Watch me," she said. For the next week, Ellie worked hard to show everyone she cared. She listened to her friends, helped her mom with chores, and played nicely with her brother. The more good she did, the weaker the other Ellie became. Her reflection started to fade, and the strange giggles disappeared. One evening, Ellie stood in front of the mirror. The other Ellie was barely there, just a faint shadow with dim, white eyes. "You'll miss me," the shadow whispered. Ellie shook her head. "No, I won't. I can be better on my own." And with that, the shadow vanished. Ellie sighed in relief and went to bed, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. From then on, Ellie kept working to be a better person, but she did it her way, with kindness, patience, and love. She made resolutions that came from her heart, knowing that being better didn't mean being perfect. It just meant trying her best. On the next New Year's Eve, Ellie sat with her notebook again. She wrote down her resolution carefully. "Be the best me I can be." As she looked at her reflection, she saw only herself. A happy, confident Ellie ready to take on the new year.